Hi guys. So it's been a minute since I've posted, and for various reasons other than the fact that um actually it's been 5 months since I've posted, and I knew I didn't know exactly what I wanted to share with everybody. I didn't know, like, or maybe those are excuses. I'm not too sure. But one thing I do realize, I know deeply, is that I'm really frustrated with the point that I am at in my life. Um, and I keep trying to have this patience, right? Of waiting. Because I've been applying to jobs and they haven't necessarily been things that I've wanted in a way, because they're not jobs that I would want to spend my time at. I'm gonna be honest with you. But I need them because I need a job. I need to fund myself, you know what I mean? I have so many goals that I want to achieve that I set up for myself, but I haven't been able to reach as many of them as many of them as I wanted to, because I'm a jobless girly right now. And again, it's me trying to understand this patience, right? Because I feel like I want everything now. And I still live with my parents, and I'm so thankful for that. But I do want to have more control of my life, and take more charge and demand of what that is. And I do find myself hesitant at times because I understand that yes, I am a 23-year-old, but as this being my first time being a 23-year-old, it can be kind of scary. You know what I mean? And I'm trying not to view it that way because it's my life and I want to live it the best way that I can. And one of those ways is being not so mentally here, you know what I mean? But rather present in the moment, actually living. And I am living this artistic life. I paint, I write, I sing. Sing is mostly just for me because I feel like I don't really sing good. But I do all of these things, and they're amazing, they're beautiful, and those are things that I never want to let go of because I want to dance, because they feel so close to me, to my heart. Those things make me feel like I'm living. You know what I mean? When I'm expressing myself, whether it's cutting my hair, I recently just cut my hair. It was pretty long, and I just kept chopping and chopping and chopping and chopping, within this month of January. And each time I cut it, I was just this doesn't feel right, but I feel like I'm getting there. This doesn't feel right, but I'm getting there. And I feel like that's just how my life is right now, where it's certain things don't feel right, but I know that I'm getting there to the point where I feel like I'm going to be feeling more fulfilled in my life. And then it comes to this point where I think about, people say always live in the present moment, and it's about the journey, not the destination, because I've found that I've seen people reach their destination that they've been working towards, the goal, but they're not necessarily happy, you know what I mean? And maybe it's because people have this notion that they're gonna reach this point and everything is just gonna click. But I realize no one ever knows what the fuck they're doing. TikTok has granted me with the perspectives of millions of people from different points of the world, at different ages, from different circumstances, different everything. And it's allowed me to see the hundreds of possibilities of a human's journey. a human's life, a human's experience with it all. And and there's people who are at the age of like 30 to 50 to 60 where they're restarting everything because they realize that like certain things that they have achieved in the past or what they did want isn't something that they want then. You know what I mean? Like everything is such like an ebb and flow. It's like it's so fickle, you know, because like nothing is truly ever stagnant. I feel like there's always movement, especially like considering humans, we're always changing and evolving, especially with different circumstances that we're facing. So then that leads to different settles within ourselves, whether it's our morals, our opinions, the way that we are essentially, you know. And so like obviously that's going to have like a domino effect of everything else around us, how we choose to love, how we choose to open up to each other, or how we choose to fight, what we fight for, who we fight for, what we believe in, what we don't believe in, what we want, what we don't want, what we want, like boundaries and like achievements and goals. And it's just like, I don't know, like I feel like growing up I'm just wanting like this concrete answer to like just satisfy all my needs. You know what I mean? Like something that's going to fulfill me entirely, for me to feel like, yeah, like this makes sense, like this is right. But it's like that, I feel like that's achieving the impossible. You know what I mean? Considering everything that, first of all, the society is set up against us in so many different ways. So I feel like it makes it even harder to achieve that. But second of all, it's like, I don't know, like, then what's the point of living, I guess, in a way? Because then if you get to get everything you want, like, what do you have? Would you appreciate everything that you had? You know what I mean? So I'm just at this point where I know what I need to survive, and I want to obtain that in order to survive on my own. Because honestly, I'm heavily relying on my parents, and I also don't want to do that to them anymore. And I don't want to do that to myself anymore. And I'm tired of essentially like being a bum, to be honest. But like a bum, because it's like this perspective that's been like planted in me and that has grown so like strongly is the fact that like capitalism is obviously fucking awful, and like money is a made up construct by the society, and it truly does not have to be a thing if we chose not to abide by those like rules, by that system. Like it's literally made of like we're playing make believe. But we played make believe so hard that it literally impacts our entire life. Like, and it's see, and so then that's why I'm like, okay, maybe this is like the reason why I feel, maybe this is like a perspective that the universe wants me to understand, right? Is that this is made up. It isn't the one all be all of the entire universe. It is just on this planet that it's set up like this. It's the structure, you know? And so then I'm thinking, okay, the universe hasn't allowed this flow of a job to come in, at least in normal standards of society, right? Like working at a business or whatever, like a major business, a corporation or whatever the fuck. So, and it makes me feel worthless, right? Because then it stems to so many different things where, again, I can't achieve what I want to achieve entirely because I feel like I need this foundation, right? And it makes me feel like I also can't date women. Like, I want to be able to provide to a woman, if I want to provide to a woman that I'm like romantically like into, you know? And so then I take dating out of the scenario for me, because then I feel if I can't amount to that, at least the bare minimum type of thing, how can I love another person, you know? And that makes me so sad. Like, I'm allowing this societal, like, made up money of currency. Made up money of currency. Yes, girl. Made up currency. To dictate whether or not I like receive romantic love. What? But then it's also like I want to be successful. Like I want to be able to be at that point where like I like just I'm successful. Like honestly, like, you know, but then it's like, okay, what's my definition of successful? And is that the same definition of successful to my partner? Like what matters to my partner, but then I don't even know what matters to my partner because I don't know my partner. You know what I mean? So then I think of me like, okay, so then do you think you have to be successful to have money? It fucking helps. Like obviously, you know what I mean? Like that's important, but deep down, like when you die in the afterlife, are you going to be thinking about how much money you made? Is that what's really going to matter to you? Or is it going to be all the memories I've made so far in my life? Oh, I'm start crying. Like all the connections I've made with the people that I love, with the animals I love, with the plants I help grow, or the meals that I've cooked, or the meals that I've ate, or like, you know what I mean? Or these intimate moments that I have with myself, like this, right? So then I'm like, that literally like brings me so much love that I want to cry, you know? It like brings me to that peak of like, wow, like that is true success. And I think like that's like the reminder that they want me to hold, you know? Because for me, living in this society, it can be a bit difficult to it can be difficult to live on like essentially this frequency or wave of thoughts because everything is so chaotic, you know, like the things you can't control, the way like there's a lot of like negativity in the world, you know, and I could be so blindsided by that instead of focusing on things that really matter and how I could help rather than how everything's just like falling apart. So that's why I'm like, okay, so is this the lesson that they're trying to reinforce in me? And is this why I haven't been able to feel like I can achieve in other places and in other things? You know what I mean? And then I think, am I not putting enough effort? But if I'm not putting enough effort, then is it what I really want? I keep getting messages that I have one foot in an old doorway, in an old room, in an old house that I don't recognize anymore. And that is holding me back. And I don't want that to hold me back anymore. I'm absolutely annoyed with it. I'm like, I feel so frustrated. I want my new life. I don't want this stagnancy. It's just so frustrating because it's like I also want to hang out with my friends and spend great time with them and creating new memories without having to worry about money, whether or not I could get money, whether or not I could take us out to eat. Like my friends are so fucking real. Like I love them so bad. But that's why I'm like, I want this money because I don't want them to feel like they're holding back on what they can do because I can't work. Like, I want to go on trips with my fucking friends. I want to go on trips with my family. I don't want anybody to be holding back because of me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that thing for anybody I'm the reason why they're holding back on so many things in life. Cuz now that I'm thinking about, like, what if, I don't know, like, in someone else's like life that I no longer exist in, right? I'm no longer partaking in that life. What if I created a wound? You know what I mean? Cuz I'm not fucking perfect, so obviously I've hurt people. I don't want to be that person for them. I don't want to be the reason why they're holding back on their life, whether I bring up something for them or whatever. You know, I don't know how I've impacted people. I don't want to be that thing where, like, if you think of me, it prevents you from doing something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, something good for yourself or for others. You know? Like, that actually makes me so sad because I feel like, personally, like, I've experienced something from my past that tends to hold me back. And I fucking hate it. I hate it. I despise it. I just want it to be like completely wiped, like clean from my memory. You know what I mean? That specific thing. But then again, like, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I just don't want it to have like so much hold over me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to make me second guess people or to second guess anything of that nature. You know, because it's like giving that energy is so tiring, especially after like how long it's been. Like, I'm so fucking over it. Like, it's weird. And then I'll be fine, and all of a sudden, random things tend to pop up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I think, is it because I'm in tune? I'm very intuitive, so I feel like I could really pick up on things. So I'm like, okay, maybe this person's thinking about me, you know? And especially if I'm not thinking about them, people say, like, if you don't give that energy that you've been giving constantly, they'll feel that shift. They'll feel the difference and do the same thing back to you. You know what I mean? Like, then they'll start thinking about you because they don't feel that presence. So it's kind of like a pull and tug motion, pull and tug. And it's sometimes it feels like that with past people. And I don't know if it's like the person missing me or if it's like my body or like my mind being like, oh, you haven't thought about this person in a minute. Hey, maybe you should think about them. Like, it's so weird, and it's like, I don't know. This is such like a whole like flow of like just thoughts, but it's just what's coming out. But yeah, but this felt nice to express all my wonders and frustrations and confusions of like growing up and trying to understand myself, understand this world that we live in, understand this being that I'm in, understanding how we are so limitless, but yet we feel like we have so many limits upon us. And it's such like a contradicting like take because like when I think of myself as like my soul and this being essentially God, right? Essentially we're all God because we all come from the same source. We're all equals. We are, right? And when I first awakened, that's what I called myself, a God. And I could tell when I look back, a lot of ego was taking place there where I didn't see everyone as equals. You know what I mean? But I have to understand that we're all God. Like, I've come to that conclusion, right? That we're all connected. And so from that perspective, you just feel so abundant. You feel so magnetic. You feel so optimistic. You feel in tune, connected. You feel love. You feel acceptance. You don't feel judgmental. You understand. And you to see the universe as it is, past all of these human illusions that's been placed on us currently in this moment. And it's a wonderful feeling. So I feel like my life, I have like ebbs and flows in my life pretty often, where I'll have periods of monumental rest where it feels stagnant, but I'm also simultaneously like filling my own cup. Since I haven't been employed, I've been creating various art pieces. I've been reading, I've been eating healthy, I've allowed myself to go back to an art piece that means a lot to me. I've been with my family, I've been with my friends. I've had the energy to rest in this time of transition in between, because I just graduated. So like I truly haven't like I've given my energy to things that, but it doesn't feel like it's like sucking the life out of me. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel as busy. But I have been giving my time and energy to things that are needed, right? So again, I go in periods of ebbs and flows in my life where I'm resting essentially. Then I get a period of non-stop, just doing things non-stop. Like for me, it's been like whether I'm at a job or I'm at school. But these non-stop things. So I like try to remind myself in the present moment of the bigger picture of things, because again, I'm only 23. But like if I've noticed the patterns that my life has taken, right? Where I have a busy schedule, jam-packed, full, barely getting sleep, barely eating, barely resting, constantly do. Anyways, not that funny, but kind of funny. But I'm constantly doing things, and then I get like big slap of rest, huge moment, time chunk, time period. But it's like, okay, this is what's happening for me, but it's not what's happening for everybody. You know what I mean? And with this time rest that I'm having, I'm not having a personal flow of income coming for me. You know what I mean? That's steady. And I think that's what's frustrating, because then I have friends that I want to hang out with. I love being with my friends. Like, I love being with my friends. Like, I love these bitches. Like, I love them so bad. So I always want to spend time with them, you know? But I can't do that because I'm in the period of rest. So I don't know. It's just interesting to just like see and kind of like try my best to step back and view my life so far, analyze it, try to understand it, see the patterns of it, because if you know, I feel like the universe loves a good pattern. She loves a good little design sequence. She loves giving messages and like everyday things, you know what I mean? Because she is the universe. This is her, like we're all her. Like, hey girl, like I'm inside the womb, like, you know. But I think I'm just getting fed up, because then I also feel like the next part of my life that isn't so stagnant per se is going to be filled with so much like goodness and change that I've been wanting. Because like I feel like I've changed so much since I became single or just had my awakening. I've changed drastically. Like as a kid, I never thought ever that I would be this person today. I never thought of the future. Now I started to think of the future, but when I was younger, I never thought of the future. I never envisioned it. I didn't know I was going to have, honestly, because I was a depressed little kid. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what happened to me, but I was depressed. I hated myself. You know what happened to me? Society got a hold of me, and I believed everything it had to say. And all the negativity is spewed at me, all the hate, all the self harming things that you honestly shouldn't be saying to a kid who's just absorbing things. I feel like I became the biggest sponge ever, especially knowing and understanding how in tune I am. I understand that that was just me amplified to 10,000, but also picking up on everybody else around me. Just just a ball of just negativity. Like that's what I was. You know what I mean? So I never once thought of what the fuck I was going to be doing with my life, where I was going to be going, who I was going to be loving, um if I was ever going to love myself. Like, I wasn't thinking about my relationships, my connections with people, because I hardly had a connection with myself. I hardly even loved myself. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. Like, and now today I have multiple paintings and multiple things of myself. You know what I mean? I have multiple depictions of me and actual images of me that I actually absolutely adore and love. Like, all in my room. I'm like my number one fan now. I go on my Instagram. I look at my Instagram all the time. That Instagram, babes, is for me. It's for nobody else but me. I love looking at myself. I adore myself. I could look at myself in the mirror with all my clothes off. Like, bitch, you could have never told that to Ariana in the past, because she would have laughed. She actually would have been like, "Are you on crack right now?" Because why would I ever look at my body like that? No, like, I absolutely adore myself. I go on my TikTok. I love looking at me on my TikTok. I go through my videos. I watch those. Yeah, I love doing that for me. And now, the connections I have are like some of the best connections I've ever experienced in my entire life. And that's because I love myself. So, I've grown a lot. I've changed a lot. And now I'm ready. I feel like I'm so ready for so much more. Even though I know sometimes fear gets to me and she likes to little, "Hey girl, like, don't forget about me." But I'm like, no, no. Like, you need to take a back seat. All in the back. All in the back. So I could allow myself to be the grown ass woman that I am today. To gain more responsibility for myself and the life that I desire and want. And I honestly feel like I need. You know? And I feel like also another thing is like, oh, be aware of the current, because it's never gonna be like this. And I understand that completely, because the amount of time like my life has changed, it's been rapid fire, to be honest. But it's like, I do appreciate the present moment, and I know nothing's ever gonna be like this, ever, ever. Nothing's ever gonna be like this ever again. Absolutely ever, ever. This is a one in a lifetime experience and opportunity, because no one's me. No one's experiencing this life. No one knows this life the way I know this life. The ups, the downs, the ins and outs. Nobody. This right here is a one-time experience, a one-time phenomenon, a one-time art gallery. Because I believe I am art. I truly believe that. I am art. I bleed art. I breathe art. I am art. I appreciate all forms of art, of expression, of creativity, of authenticity. I am art. This is one in a lifetime opportunity. You know what I mean? This right here, this video, nothing else like it. This is a one time thing. And as I speak this, I'm understanding this. Because I feel like that's how ethereal expressions come to be. You're in the flow, you're in the ebb, you're in the space to receive this, right? Talking to myself. I'm receiving this right now from like myself, from the universe, from God. Honestly. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not here to explain shit to anybody. Call me fucking crazy. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna remember it, especially who said it, but I'm not gonna give a fuck. I don't forget. No, honestly, I don't forgive and I don't forget. I'm gonna be quite frank. It's hard for me to do those things because it's like once you cross that boundary, it's like I ain't fucking with you. I see you. I'm not fucking with you anymore. I understand who you are and where you're coming from. I'm not gonna fuck with you. But nonetheless, this is what I mean. Coming back to the idea of feeling so limitless, but also full of limits. It's a weird, contradicting thing that can coexist at the same time. Depending on when you talk to me, where I'm at in my cycle too, because I feel like that has a large play in everything too. Anyways, this is like my third video, because the other video I posted was when I was in Morgan College, and I took an art class there. One of the assignments was doing a video. That was fun, and again, that was a once in a lifetime opportunity for me. I went to community college. I got 2 degrees. Hey, period. Especially for a person who didn't know what the fuck they wanted to do. Hey, period. And a person who stopped going and went back to finish, period. Because, like, my cousin brought up this point where she was like, girl, like, you went back and you didn't have to. And I was like, wait, I went back and I didn't even have to. Like, for me, that never even popped up in my mind. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I set out to do it, so I'm gonna do it. So that in itself, and having that outside perspective, allowed me to be like, I said I was gonna do all those things, so I'm gonna do it. Like, simple, you know. I'm just gonna enjoy my time, you know. I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna fucking do it, but in my time, but I'm gonna do it, you know. So it's like I trust myself. Yeah. But again, like, I guess it's just things that I want to have now because I'm so excited for it. Like, I'm like, yes, like, please, you know. But maybe it's patience that, I know it is patience that I'm trying to learn right now. And allowing to have the spirit of me, of my essence, take hold more, take more charge, because I feel like that's how I thrive the best, to be honest. I feel like I make better decisions from this perspective. I am on the right path with this perspective, and is brought to me for a reason, right? I didn't go through everything I went through in the past for no fucking reason. Like, my awakening and everything, like, that shit was intense, you know. But again, I didn't go through all of this for no reason. It was because I learned lessons that I needed to learn and understand to obtain in order to become the version that I am today. Point blank, period. Because again, this is a one lifetime experience. I'm a limited edition, babes. Limited edition. I have to remind myself of that. I am a limited edition. As so is everybody else. Limited editions. Because there's nobody else like anybody else on this planet. We have similarities, but we're definitely not the same. You know? So I guess the point of this video was to understand that I'm a limited edition, understanding patience, understanding what is success to me, and how I define that within myself. And fuck the government. Yeah. Lead with more spirit. Alright, so that was the second video. I hope you guys have a great day. If you listened, love that for you, because maybe you got inspired. You probably did. And I'm humble, but I also understand that shit that I spit sometimes fucking resonates the way it's supposed to, babes. It's just supposed to. You probably got a sign from this. Listen to it. Entirely listen to it. Because I've given out readings, and they've been really accurate. So, listen to it. Bye.